Hello and welcome to Mtoto News Insights. My name is Omar Hamed. Today in our discussion, we are talking about children and elections. As Kenya heads to the 2022 August elections, what role do children play in elections, and are they being involved in the election-making process? That discussion is coming later on, but first, let's have our headlines today.
Governments, apart from Kenya, I think that has been very, very strong on that. We haven't, some of the governments have policies that we have said, but the execution of those policies have also been very weak.
Governments urged to involve young people and girls in policy and decision-making process.
Lakini hawa wadogo ni kupaka rangi na kukata msumeno na kukushika mahali penye unafaa. Kwa sababu kuna sehemu kama machine huwezi pea mtoto.
Kibera young welders. We tell you a story of a Kibera welder who mentors children to weld. Breaking the barriers. Today we bring you a special feature on how Sahajanand Special School in Mtwapa is empowering these children by providing education and other basic needs. Governments have been urged to involve young people and girls in policy and decision-making process by ensuring that their voices are heard and considered in all aspects touching on their lives. In a meeting held on Thursday and attended by directors of child-focused organizations under the Joining Forces umbrella, the directors urged governments to develop and implement policies and laws that protect children from harmful practices and allocate the cost budgets for child protection. Also expressed their concerns about the slow pace that is being taken to tackle challenges facing children. Here is the story.
So we have zero tolerance to child safeguarding in our organization. So, we take this seriously as the joining forces and also as the SOS Children's Villages.
COVID, when children were supposed to be, were forced to go back home, all education institutions were closed down and children are forced to go home. Some people took advantage of that. So that has contributed a lot towards that increase. There are other issues that also, because I think governments, apart from Kenya, I think that has been very, very strong on that. We haven't, some of the governments have policies that we have said, but the execution of those policies have also been very weak.
Now, what can we do as joining forces? I think we have a big opportunity with all the directors here. And remember, these are regional directors. So we're actually looking at it at a higher level. There is all the joining forces activities happening in each of the countries. And the idea is that we create linkages from the countries to the region. I was going to speak to this actually in the closing remarks, but maybe it's good I say this. And one of the key topics that I would foresee is actually OSEC, online sexual exploitation. Because it's a topical issue, it's a current issue, it's not going away. The digital space is expanding.
Now on to other news. The competency-based curriculum empowers children to be practical and creative. In Kibera, one welder has inspired hundreds of children in the densely populated slum. Children gather at his workshop while at home to learn welding. Edwin currently mentors 12 underage children with the consent of their parents and has mentored over 32 children.
Majina anaitwa Edwin Alukwe.
So Edwin, acha nikuulize swali moja. Una work aje welding na watoto?
Welding na watoto ni wagumu sana wa kuwork nao kwa welding. Lakini mimi nakuanga makini sana. Kuna part zenye unaweza wapea kama kukata, kupaka rangi, lakini kuchoma na kuenda upande ya grinder huwezi tuma mtoto hapo. Kuna age ile inafaa tupeane. Kuna age hapa niko na watoto wale wako chini ya miaka na kuna wale wako juu ya miaka. Sasa ule ako above the miaka yake naona ako sawa kwa kushika grinder ama kuweld, huyo nafundisha kuweld. Lakini hao wadogo ni kupaka rangi na kukata msumeno na kushika mahali penye unafaa. Kwa sababu kuna sehemu kama machine huwezi pea mtoto. Saa lunch, ujue si inafikanga lunch, watoto wenyewe waoni. umebaki peke yako. Saa ile inafika saa 8 unaona tena wameru. Sasa kila mtu ikifika lunch ameepa, amekuacha hivyo. Ameenda kwao. Wale wamebaki hapa ndio unaenda hapo unachukua kamwala kwa duka hapo na biscuit unawapea. Kwa ile mmechoma tu pikipiki hapa mmepata 50, ule uwezi mnyima lunch. Atakula. Akishakula ndio unaona sasa wamejaa wana sasa ukiwapea hivyo sasa kesho wanakuja wengi. Unaona? Ujue ile kitu naambia wazazi watoto mtoto anatokanga na talent yake chini, mwenyewe anakuonyesha tu talent yake na usimzuie. Unaona, ukiona mtoto anapenda kitu fulani, wacha afanye hiyo kitu. Babu hiyo maybe ni talent yake, lakini ukipata mzazi mtoto anazipenda hii na mzazi anaye anamdirect hii, amwezi elewana. Una mali unampeleka akili yake iko huko, akili yake iko kwa ile kitu anapenda, unaona? Sasa talent ya mtoto inatoka chini. Kuna ule anapenda kucheza na mawaya, wewe wachana na yeye, maybe kesho atakuwa mtu engineer. Kuna ule anapenda kugongelea vitu hivi, wachana na yeye, talent yake iko hapo. Hapa hata mimi naonanga wenyewe wananifundishanga tu vitu zingine hapa sijui. Edu umesahau kuweka hapa hii. Unaweza choma hii kitu usahau, lakini mtoto atakuja akwambie hapa hatuwekangi, wewe tunawekanga namna hii.
Breaking the barriers. Today we bring you a special feature on how Sahajanand Special School in Mtwapa is empowering these children by providing education and other basic needs. As we celebrate the Day of the African Child 2022, children living with disabilities have been discriminated for long by the society. But in the recent years, the narrative has changed. Today we bring you a special feature on how Sahajanand Special School in Mtwapa is empowering these children by providing education and other basic needs. Take a look.
Watoto wa foundation wanafuraha kwa kujua kusoma neno kwa neno. Teacher ni mwalimu, chair ni kiti, window ni dirisha.
Having a child with disability is not easy. It's a 24 hours job, and we find that most of the parents, they don't have support from the villages. As you can see in our school, we have children coming from interior part of the villages. So we try also to give them guidance and counseling. We try to show them that all is well, we accept them, and we show them love. And we also try to walk with them the journey of bringing up their children and making sure that they feel that someone else is supporting them and someone else is there for them.
So when we talk of cerebral palsy, these are kids who have the brain that is damaged. Some of them may be due to birth, time of delivery, maybe they got an injury. After birth also it can happen. And once the brain has been damaged, there's a problem in the movement, the coordination of muscles, the brain also. So you'll find that most of these kids don't have movement. Their movement for hands are spastic, they can't move well, so they take time even to talk, speech is distorted, they have that challenge.
We are going to learn about numbers. Come on the point, letter I.
These kids, we say that they are differently abled. We don't hide these kids at home. Why? Because they have some things that they can do, and as normal people, as called as normal, we cannot do them. And therefore, those parents who are keeping those kids at home, they need to bring them to school. They need to learn as other kids.
So the learners that we teach in vocational are basically learners who come to the special school. So they are first admitted to learn in the academic area. Then after some time, when we notice that they cannot continue with academics, then we bring them to vocational department. And also there's some conditions. When they come to vocational department, they should be of about 17 and above ages.
Na vocational tunasoma kazi ya mikono, tunasoma kushona beads, pia tunasoma kuchora, na pia kuna agriculture tunalima. Yeah, hizo. Kwa hizo zote napenda kuchora sana kwa sababu hiyo ndio talent yangu sasa. Yeah, na ni kitu natural kwa hivyo naelewa. Kuchora imenisaidia kukua yani, because nini kitambo vile nilikuwa nachora kitambo na vile nilikuwa nachora sahi kuna difference kubwa sana.
After they have maybe existed in a vocational class, mostly we open some small businesses for them because there's some skills that they have gotten from the vocational class. So what we do, we take them out, so their parents also, with the assistance from the government, they open small-scale businesses for them. And sometimes, about employment, it is very hard for them to get employment because of the disability that they have. So some people will not prefer working with them because they are not very super. So we prefer opening small businesses for them, whereby they can continue doing their skills and maybe to get something to enable them in life.
Welcome back to Mtoto News Insights. Before we took a break, I had highlighted on the topic that we are to discuss with my panelist here. It's about children in elections. So I'm going to let them to introduce themselves and then we start. Let me start with you.
Thank you so much, Omar. My name is Brian King. I am a child. I'm also a trained journalist here at Mtoto News and a child representative of Baklu.
Thank you so much, Brian. Let's move on to our very own Daisy. Yes.
I'm Daisy Njoroge, Speaker in Njoro Sub-County.
Thank you so much, Daisy. Yes, and today we have a new member.
Okay, my name is Wycliffe. I'm from Dandora and I'm an actor.
You're an actor. Thank you so much, Wycliffe. Let me start with you, Wycliffe, since you have the mic. Now, let's start in general. What is elections?
Election is whereby mtu anapewa cheo kwa kitu fulani, tuseme maybe kuwa mtu yani CEO hivi, saa design fulani hapo hivi ya unakuwa elected ndio hadi kitu kikujia wewe ndio unapewa hiyo nini kama mtu mwenyewe.
Thank you so much, Wycliffe. Let's move on to Daisy. Daisy, for a child who's at home and doesn't know what is elections, maybe they were born yesterday or maybe they are so their age is so young, they don't know what is elections. Tell us.
My understanding of elections is government-wise, is when we as the citizens of a country elect, as in Kenya, we elect leaders to lead us and know our problems. We'll address problems to them and then they'll be taken to the higher authority through them.
Thank you so much, Daisy. Brian, you did history in high school?
I did.
Brian did history in high school. Now, what is election? What are elections? Let's start
okay,
from there.
I'll try to keep it as textbook as I can, but my understanding of elections, this is when people express their will by giving a particular person power to represent them and make decisions on behalf of them.
Thank you so much, Brian, for that. Let's start with you since you have the mic now. Brian, should children now be considered when making decisions in when planning the general elections, or
Okay, should children be considered?
Yes.
I would love to say yes, because personally I love to be considered in everything.
Child
but
participation.
Technically, yes, they should, because I mean, I mean, come on, those decisions that are going to be made are not going to affect our parents alone, right? They're going to elect leaders, MPs, who are going to give us bursaries. They're going to elect a president who's going to elect cabinet secretaries of education and security and infrastructure as well. So, those are going to affect us. In one way or another, it's going to affect us. So definitely, we should be included. I mean, if they're making decisions on our behalf, we should be included.
We should be included. Child participation.
Democracy actually states that every individual gets to express their will. So definitely, we are individuals.
Thank you so much, Brian.
We
should be considered. Thank you so much. Let's move on to Daisy. Daisy, you are the speaker of the Kenya Children's Assembly. Basically, you're a leader. Do you guys get involved in planning the... You see, you guys are part of the government, children's government, right? Do you guys maybe get to be considered when the government, the main government, is planning a general elections like this year?
I can courageously say no. Because hadi penye tumefika sahi, we've not come across any leader, despite its campaign time, we've not come across any leader who has come to address issues for children. Because first of all, they consider our votes are not counted, we are not voting. So coming to talk to us as children has not been their concern. During this campaign period, and even not even right now, even before, they have not been considering our talking to us and knowing our problems. They only base our problems on education-wise.
Yeah, because you guys have no votes, you don't vote.
But
Why should they care?
They should still care about us, because they'll go there and talk about our problems, but they don't really know what happens on the ground. Wanasema vitu zinahappen aje kwa ground hawajui. They don't know what really happens there. So they just generalize it on like bursaries and stuff.
Thank you so much, Daisy. So for once, you should get manifestos that says, this is my children manifesto. Sindio? Thank you so much, Daisy. Yes, Wycliffe. Sorry. Now, what role do children play in elections? As in, are children involved to ensure that we are that when they're doing elections, they're saying, we should get children maybe to tell us what they want on this perspective, what wanataka nini hapa maybe. Do you think children are involved enough?
Okay, mimi napenda kuongea kwa Kiswahili juu najua kuna mtu.
Shukran sana.
Kuna mtu home mwenye aelewi. Okay, sawa tu hii. Kuna vile tunafaa tushughulishwe na hiyo nini juu si ndio tunajua pali kiatu inatufinyia nayo. Juu tuseme watu wenye wamechaguliwa, tuseme ni watu wakubwa, but wao wanajielewa tu kivyona, watu kasi wadogo. Acha nijirudishe mtu hii sahi. Sasa tuseme mtu kama mimi, tuseme niko na kitu yenye nadai na tuseme maybe mzazi haezi. So nisi ndio tunajitoa, tunajipeleka kwa politician na tunamwambia mkiingia pia hapo hivi muangalie tu vizuri, tuseme ka talanta hivi ya watu. So watu kasi tuseme mtu muhimu sana ya kushughulishwa na hizo mambo za serikali.
Thank you so much, Wycliffe, for those inputs. Now let's come back to Brian. Now, Brian, I understand that there are many children watching you. Now, there's these adjustments that children want in the elections, or maybe there are things that you as a child, let's speak about you. You as a child, maybe there's some things you don't like about elections. What are these things that you don't like as a child and would love to be changed?
Okay, Omar, Aja, before I go there, let me just answer something you asked Wycliffe before. Do children participate in elections? I tend to think we do, but in a way that they don't like to consider at all.
Wait, we do?
Let me just tell you why. Okay, our house is... Let me talk about my house. My house is a political war ground. We tend to have people from different parties and all. But all in all, I promise you, our votes tend to go on the table and we discuss, children and all. We tend to tell my mom or dad, this or this or this or this or this and this. And so I'm telling you, children do tend to participate. And so politicians, consider that next time, we tell our parents who to vote for. So you continue excluding us. Now, about the nitty-gritties of election that we don't like. Something I hate personally. I hate elections personally. In fact, I hate them. Because it is so unfortunate that almost, I'm pretty sure last year, kulikuwa a child was killed somewhere by a stray bullet. We had tear gases in our balcons. Unawatch movie unasikia. You cannot go outside because someone from a different party will beat you up. You don't have freedom. Your mom cannot even let you go and play outside because they know security is not assured during this time. You see,
yeah.
there is enmity even between neighbors because of different That is why I don't love elections. You see, that is one other thing. Something else. Now let's just talk about media. So we're in media right now. Media tend to have a very bad role during elections. Unapata vipindi zetu zote tunapenda wametoa. We are in rallies somewhere, I don't know where. And I'm talking about all channels, by the way. Most channels tend to cover elections and elections and elections. That is, it's some kind of, I don't know, slogan or manifesto they're trying to pass to us, you know, the role of media. What else don't I love? There's a lot. There's a lot. We're talking about politicians campaigning in churches when we're supposed to be preaching and even
singing our favorite songs.
We're talking about traffic jams when we're going to school because some politician is campaigning on the road. It's weird and it's disgusting. It's so wrong, by the way. And considering most of them don't actually like to put us in their agendas. I'm lucky because of playground chats, basically. We get to see some few politicians who are ready to work for us. But many of them actually, they just don't. They tend to ignore us. We are that part. As you said, we don't vote. But my friend, we vote, though indirectly. We have sisters and brothers.
Thank you so much, Brian. Actually, the media does have a really big part to play in ensuring that we drive this election quite well. Don't disrupt programs. I mean,
but a movie rallies.
Now, Wycliffe, are children being involved enough in leadership today? We know about the Kenya Children's Assembly, but personally, I knew it this year. So, do you think children wanakuwa involved in matters of leadership vizuri country?
Okay, mimi naweza sema ni yes na bado ni no juu. Sisi unaona watuka sisi ndio gava tushirikishe kwa kazi yao. Ni pali sawa nataka vurugu. Labda wanakuja na wanatujenga tuende maybe to conflict pali fulani. Hapo hivyo ndo niseme, hapo hivyo ndo pali kuanga tu fine na mi kusema kweli sijaona pali mtu hii amelead kwa government. Anseme hapo hivyo ni no tu kabisa.
Thank you so much, Wycliffe, for those inputs. Now, Brian, the same question. Now, are children being involved enough in leadership today in our country?
Okay, as I said before, I'm glad we both mentioned the Kenya Children's Assembly, I'm sorry. Because it's a body of children, basically. I mean, who are the KCA? Who are they? They're children who are in leadership, basically. They're a children's government. Now are they being involved enough? You know, there's something that really comes to alter this. It's called adultism. I believe I mentioned it in a previous show. Adultism is where adults tend to give us their views and we have to express them as they want. Now that's where the problem comes in. Is the KCA really a KCA, or is it just there as a facade? Are we there for sure? Are the leaders actually going to consult the KCA? And even if they do consult them, are they actually going to just hear them or actually listen to them? Because a leader can come there, they can sit with you and say, yes, indeed, that is a very good insight, and then go as if it never happened. And I believe that's what's happening, Omar. I mean, it keeps happening over and over. We are involved a lot, very much in comparison to before. We are very involved in government. The problem is we are not involved in the right way. Because when we are going there, we tend to have chaperones who are telling us, go say this and this. Do this way. You have to react this way to such a question, right? I mean, these guidelines are adultism. These guidelines are the principles of adults. These are the views of adults expressed by a child. It's basically not the child saying what they want. And because we happen to believe that our child's concept or our child's perception is simply gibberish and garbage, it is not. We have to give us time. Because I'm here, and trust me, no one is telling me to say this, and I'm sure we have a dozen more kids. We have them. We have you, Omar. We have a dozen more kids out there who are able to express their concerns just as I am right now. We only have to get the permission and the freedom and the ability to do so. It's as simple as that. Leaders, don't call us and hear us. Call us and listen to us, okay? Yes, it's as simple as that, Omar.
Thank you so much, Brian. Actually, we are coming to the end of the program, but I'm going to start, like, before we go to the rest. Now, what are the ways that now children can make a difference in leadership and in elections?
Good. Thank you so much, Omar. In what ways can children make a difference? I would love to believe right now that I'm making a difference by just speaking out. You see? Speak out. What ways can children leaders make a difference? I'm going to say this directly to the Kenya Children's Assembly. The Kenya Children's Assembly. As a leader myself in the Pan-African Child-led Organization, I love to say it takes commitment. It takes energy and it takes hard work. It takes standing up for yourself and knowing what you want. It takes doing research in what matters concern you. If you become a leader, don't become your own leader. Don't just go there and say you're representing children who you don't talk to. You have neighbors and children and you've never told them about the KCA. It's so wrong. I also just found out about the KCA this year myself. And it's so wrong. We need to teach people. I'm pretty sure every single child in Kenya knows about the Kenyan Parliament. But I'm pretty sure about 70% of children don't know about KCA.
The Kenya Children's Assembly.
So KCA, do your job. Make sure every single child knows about you and make sure you represent us well. What do I mean by that? Speak our voice, not their voices. By there, I mean the adults. Speak what you want. If it's the right thing, say it. Don't be afraid because we chose you to represent us. Please do it so.
Thank you so much, Brian. Actually, let's move on to Daisy. Daisy, Brian has said, KCA, do your job, and you are the KCA here. Huge turnout. Thank you so much, Brian, for those inputs. Now, Daisy, how can children, we are actually coming to the end of the program, how can children make a difference in leadership? And what do you think children can do to ensure that the elections are also, I don't want to say free and fair, they are, peaceful?
Yes, we have the Kenya Children Assembly, but if we're not recognized by the National Assembly, it's just like we're just there and we just know ourselves within ourselves. So if we are acknowledged and known by the National Assembly, it may be even like calling us for sittings to speak about, because you're the ones to know the problems that children undergo in the society where the government cannot reach. Because there's some places the government cannot reach. So we are there to be their voices. First of all, because the adults are the ones voting, first of all, they have to create peace within themselves. Not like, because I'm from this party and my neighbor. No, we have to create peace among ourselves. And your vote, your choice, and your vote, your secret. When they create peace among themselves, it may bring a big difference in peaceful elections because it starts with them. Not like they protest during elections and everything that they do and creating violence. They need to be peaceful among themselves, and that will create a lot of room for even children having a platform to talk about their problems. And as I had said, we really need a children representative in the National Assembly to talk for our problems. For the problems that children go through, actually. The National Assembly, I so much hope that they'll watch this so that they can know what us as children need and what we want and address us directly, not through the adults, as Brian had said, to talk to us directly and invite us as KCA to address the issues.
Thank you so much, Daisy. As we are coming to the end now, Wycliffe, now how can children make a difference in elections? How can they make a difference in elections and also in leadership?
Okay, vile amesema ni kuongea kwanza. Sauti yako ndio leader akisikia, maybe anaweza change mind yake. Na bado si watu hizi inafaa bado tu socialize. Ndio kitu yenye inatuumiza tunaongeleana. Yani ukiongea ndio hao watu wenye wako juu watajua vitu wenye ziko hapo hivi chini.
Thank you so much, Wycliffe. You've summed it up well. Thank you so much. Also, you as a child, you have a role of also advising your parents and telling them, when you go out there, just vote. Don't pick a stone and throw. Just vote your vote and don't throw a stone. Just let's make this peaceful. Keep the conversation flowing at our social media platforms at Mtoto News, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also visit us at our website at www.mtotonews.com. You can also find me at all social media platforms at Omar Hamed 83. But for now, we say goodbye.